welcome to Make Ben Laugh. New jokes and newbies. We got 9 great comics for you, telling 2 minutes of jokes. Woo-hoo-hoo. And our first person up is the lovely Daniel Laitman.
Hey,
What's up, man?
how's everybody doing?
Yay.
Cool. So I've invented a fun new game that I like to call "Can I Spend the Entire Day Without Leaving a Chair?" It's pretty great. I'm not a smart person. I'm the only person I know that can get pregnancy brain from a food baby. Yesterday I showed my little sister Endgame, which was fun. Not because it's a good movie, it is. But I just want to prove to her that it could be worse. 4 out of 5 people think this statistic is real. I don't have a word of the day calendar. I just have a dictionary and a very short attention span. All right, that's all for me. I only wrote like 4 jokes this week. And that's my best joke. Give it up for Adam Muller, guys.
Hey, thanks, Dan. I was talking to my parents this weekend, and they asked me like what I was doing in the evening. And I was like, I got a couple Zooms. It's amazing, like Zoom has become a word, right? Like it's amazing when a brand recognition becomes so strong that we start to call that thing by the name of the brand. Like a lot of people call every single tissue a Kleenex, or people call lip balms chapstick, or entitled white women Karen. It's a brand, I guess. I don't know. My dad was the one who dropped me off at college. When he dropped me off, he had some advice. He was like, Adam, don't drink and drive, don't do drugs, and always wear a condom. And I thought, wow, my dad thinks I'm cool. The advice would have been way more practical if he had been like, wear clean underwear, eat vegetables, and keep your pants on in the library. Would have been way more useful, but I respect him because he thinks highly of me. I don't know. Once I was feeling like very anxious before a big show, and I told a friend of mine, he said, wow, Adam, I didn't know you suffered from anxiety. I don't suffer from, there's like a normal, healthy level of anxiety. Not everything is a problem that needs a solution. Sometimes a little discomfort is fine, right? Like that's like if I said I had trouble focusing, it doesn't mean I have ADD. It might just mean that your story was boring. Right? Or if I duck because I hear a truck backfire, it doesn't necessarily mean I have PTSD. It could just mean we're standing in front of a school. I can tell Patrick's laugh. Predictable at a PTSD tag. One more. Like if last night I was happy and this morning I'm sad, it doesn't mean I'm bipolar. It could just mean that last night I got laid and this morning she was still there.
Hey-o.
Okay. All right. That's it. I'm ending on an AO. Give it up now for Alicia Hush, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Ben, I don't have any incest jokes because you broke my spirit.
Oh, shit.
But I just want to let you know that I got really high on life. And I found this note in my phone. For Ben for late night, need 4 incest jokes. There's more. The second sentence I'm like bargaining with myself. I said, what about 2 hard incest jokes and 1 soft incest? So you can let me know your terms and I'll come for you next week. I did want to try this one. People ask if I got into comedy for acting. And for me, that's not why I got into it. But I did audition for one play when I was in high school because I really liked the material. And I remember I kept getting all these callbacks. And at the very end of the play, the drama teacher pulled me aside and she was like, listen, I thought you were really great, but The Diary of Anne Frank is not a comedy. Okay, you guys keep it going for Marissa Riley.
Yay.
Not on mute. Yes. It's so good to be here at home. I've had a weird 6 months. I actually went home to Arizona for 6 months to take care of my mom this year because she got cancer. She's doing great, but I actually think I deserve a trophy. Not because not because I did something generous, but because I did something generous without once posting a paragraph about it on Instagram. Thank you so much. I got 0 sympathy likes for this, and I could have gotten so many. Oh my God. She did survive lung cancer, and we were in the desert. So it was kind of like Breaking Bad, but with more drama. I kind of like how when a man gets lung cancer, he needs to become like a drug kingpin to feel alive. But all my mom had to do to feel alive was make passive aggressive comments to all of her nurses, you know? Like once this woman took her blood and my mom actually said, "Good job, that'll only leave a small bruise." Something cool did happen with a nurse. Once a nurse asked me if I was my mom's wife, which is kind of creepy, but also like good for my mom. What a sexy cougar. Also, that's my first incest joke. So okay, that's all for me. Thank you so much. Keep it going now for Patrick Lawler. Woo!
Yay, hooray, hello. COVID is sad. And everyone has like this really amazing stories about losing a loved one. And I lost my grandfather during COVID, but not from COVID. He just regular died. Like my mom called me, she's like, "Your grandfather's in the hospital." I was like, because he's always going to a goddamn grocery store. And she's like, "No, he fell." I was like, "Oh, right. That can still happen." What do we do? And she was like, "Oh, he just went to the hospital. I'm there now." I'm like, "Oh, what do you mean you're there now? I thought you couldn't go." And she's like, "Oh, no one has COVID. So you just regular, you know, and just say he's right here. You want to talk to him?" And I was like, "I guess." Bye, Grandpa. And then he died. And I didn't post about it online because I didn't want to like distract from the national tragedy going on, you know? I'd be like, "I'll rip Grandpa," and everyone's like, "Oh, from COVID." And I'm like, "No, just old people stuff." No, I know COVID's out there killing, but gravity is still around. Killing my grandpa and Kobe. Granted, my grandpa was just on the ground level. He didn't need a helicopter to die. And we didn't feel too bad because he was just an old Korean war vet, and he was just ready to die and just too Catholic to kill himself. And so we were just like, "All right, bye, Grandpa." It does feel weird though, having someone die like during a national tragedy. It'd be like if he died at Pearl Harbor, but like not on the day, just at a resort. And he was just like, "Yeah, I lost my grandpa at Pearl Harbor last year. Heart disease." Anyway, that's that story. Yay. keep that sad train going for Maximilian Spinelli.
Thank you, guys. Happy to keep things sad here. I have been daydreaming a lot about the end of quarantine and what that will look like. My first day in life without any quarantine measures. So I figured, strap in, gang. Let's go for a ride and see like what Maxie Westside's life looks like. Normal time. My breakfast is the same every day. A glass of fresh cold brew, entire Jewel pod, and 2 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Same every day. Then you head to the cafe across the street, see what iced teas they have on tap. get a little crazy, do a little combo raspberry Earl Grey situation. I'm basically a scientist. After that, check in at Urban Outfitters, clock the new tees. You know what I mean? Maybe buy an $80 shirt that says influencer on it. Why not? They're practically giving them away at that price. Now, try it on in the store, leave the original shirt I was wearing in the dressing room garbage. It's been worn now. It's of no use to me. You know, dap up the regulars on the way out, you know, my urban crowd. Go to the gym around 3 p.m. It's best to go when it's not busy, but there's enough people to see that I did work out today. I got credit. It's important to mention this was an equinox that I was working at. I don't know if I mentioned that. I was equinox that I was going to. I know what you're thinking. Great shower products. Don't be fooled. I have better products at home. I don't shower there. Go home. I do get blemishes. I'm not a god. Stop it. You have to use the perfect combination of serums to maintain a healthy glow. Ben, write that down. Serums. It's all about the serums. After that, it's comedy time. You know what I mean? Get ready. Get strapped in. Life hack. If you're always running late, you force your own hand. You take the Uber, not the subway. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't make it if I take the queue now. Guess I have to order an X. Not a pool. I'm not a poor person. Get to the comedy club. You get to the comedy club. The guy at the door says, "Are you a comedian?" He doesn't know who I am. I don't get booked a lot. I say, "No, so much more than that." Wink. Neither of us know what that meant. I walk in. I perform. Nobody in the building knows how it went. When you abbreviate every single word, it's tough to know what was said, fam. You get it. End of the day, you know, you unwind with a couple CW teen dramas and my signature drink. What's that? It's a spiked seltzer with 2 Prozac sprinkled in. I call it a fizzy sad boy. And that's a day in the life, guys. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait. Up next, we have the lovely Pranav Bahari.
Hi, hello, hi. So, you know, we've all been on lockdown or semi-lockdown during the pandemic. And the interesting thing about lockdown is you're not just locked down with whoever you live with in your apartment, you're also locked down with everybody in your building in New York. And one thing that I've noticed about my neighbors during the pandemic is my neighbors are all like kind of exploring their like inner creativity, you know what I mean, as people. And for instance, my neighbor to the left of me, she's been teaching herself piano. I can hear her kind of pinging away on the keys. And my neighbor on the right has been teaching himself guitar. I can hear himself strumming away on the old acoustic. And I thought, wow, it would be so like neat if my neighbor on the left, the budding pianist, and my neighbor on the right, the guitar player, could somehow coordinate and fucking kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shut the fuck up. What are you doing? No, it's not charming or cool or anything like that. You know, it's not a gift that you're sharing with us in 191 Jefferson. You know, you can't share something that you don't have, right? And my thing is this: is we're in like a pandemic situation. There's a coronavirus. It's horrible. The last thing you want to hear on lockdown is off-key, clumsy piano. Okay, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong. It's like a horror movie. Okay, bing. But it sounds like the coronavirus is getting closer when I hear her piano. You know what I'm saying? Bing, bong, bing. Is it the corona? Is it the corona? Ah, ah! Just write a fucking novel, bitch. All right, just shut the fuck up. One very interesting thing about corona, I think coronavirus is a very surreal kind of disease, you know? I think it's very surreal. I feel like coronavirus, it's like a hypochondriac's wet dream. You know what I mean? Very interesting disease because they tell you on the one hand, listen, if you have any symptoms, you definitely have coronavirus, right? On the other hand, they tell you, even if you don't have any symptoms, you still probably have coronavirus, you know? Very fucking weird. It's a hypochondriac's wet dream. And what are the symptoms of coronavirus? What are the symptoms? I don't know. What do you got? You know, every day there's a new symptom. First of all, it started off with, oh, well, if you have dry cough and fatigue, you know, then you got coronavirus. Okay, dry cough, fatigue. Then they tell you flu symptoms. It's like, okay, could be the flu, could be coronavirus. Then they tell you frostbitten toes. I'm like, okay, what? All right, frostbitten toes. Then they're like, you might have conjunctivitis. I'm like, ew, pink eye. That's gross. Whatever. Then they're like, you lose your sense of taste. I'm like, what? Lose your sense of smell, huh? Like, your name is Pranav. I'm like, holy shit, I got coronavirus. Definitely got the corona. It's very weird. So a smooth transition here, guys. Let's talk about diddling if we can. Are we all familiar with this term of diddling? Yeah. Diddling, I've heard. It's because pedophilia is all the rage these days in the comedy circuit, apparently. And I had a friend of mine refer to diddling kids, and I'd never heard that term. Diddling. I don't know, guys. Diddling for me is a very cute word for describing something utterly fucking monstrous and horrendous. Okay, diddling, really? Diddling. Oh, you know that permanent psychological damage that I've inflicted on the life of an innocent? Yeah, it's just diddling, Your Honor. Just diddling, okay? Just diddling. I feel like if diddling was a legal term, that would just be a misdemeanor, you know? Child molestation, that's like, hey, 30 to life. Diddling, that's a $20 fine and you can free to diddle another day, right? My thing about diddling is this, is like, you never hear diddling in like an adult context. It's only pedophilia, right? It's only pedophilia. You never hear a guy, older adult male, being like, yeah, you know, so I was diddling my old lady the other night and boy did she love it. No, it's like, oh no, I was Your Honor, I was diddled in the parking lot of a Chuck E. Cheese. It was horrendous, you know? Really traumatizing. And what is diddling? I don't even know what diddling is. Diddling to me, I feel like it's like fingering, but instead of taking the finger out, you just kind of leave it in there and jiggle it around like a broken toilet handle. You know, that's diddling. Anyway, guys, that's my time. It's been nice diddling you guys. Good night. My name's Pranav. Thank you.
That was a lot.
Let's keep it going for Lindsay Tyson. Yes, the queen of diddling herself.
That's a lot of thinking you did on that. Okay. Well, talking about him, I was well talk about. I don't know. I'm from South Carolina, so everyone there got married at like 22, and I don't know. I think this is why I didn't. I just wasn't sexually attracted to like any of my cousins. Oh, what's the other thing about incest? I've never seen anyone fuckable at a Trump rally, and I'll leave it at that. A lot of inbreeding there, I think. What was the other thing? No, this is dark. That didn't work the second time I did it. Dating is coming back, which is boo. I took an acting class. This is my hard time. I can't date because I'm not good at pretending what men's jobs are. Like, I don't care, you know? Like, I took an acting class and the teacher was like, what are your goals? And I was like, to learn how to care like I know what a financial analyst does. You know, it's like they're all financial analysts. It's not possible. They don't all work for JP Morgan. Sorry, I'm like a little out of it today. I got accused the other day. This guy told me, he's like, you're such a narcissist. And I was like, joke's on you, bitch. We're still talking about me. I really won there. These are some jokes about drinking. We'll see. I don't know. The pandemic has been a real renaissance for my addictions. And you want to know? This is something I've noticed. If your favorite ride at Disney when you were a little kid was the spinning teacups, you grew up to be an alcoholic. What else? The other thing? Renaissance college. Oh, that's the other thing. How pandemic's like college, because every day I wake up and I figure out how much I have to work out to cancel out my drinking. Sad fact. This is the last thing I'll do, and then I'll do one thing about 9/11 and I'll get out of here. This is what I did. I started taking Ambien again at the start of quarantine, which, whoa, that's a real drug. This was my favorite thing to do, though. Every night I would look for my Ambien because I hid my Ambien from myself when I was on Ambien. And it was always in one of the mugs, so that was like a half hour of stuff. I would hide it in like symbolic ones. Like I kept hiding it in Stockholm because I was like, I wish I was in Sweden. You know, and here it's fine. That's just sad. This is what I'll say. I have a dark personality. Oh no, I have two things. I'm gonna do two things. I'm sorry. This one, I don't know if you guys will like. I always forget. I was talking about dating. I always forget to pee after sex, which is weird because I never forget to cry. It's for the women. Now my 9/11 joke. Oh, so excited. I have a dark personality. We figured that out. I decided I wanted to move to New York actually on September 11th, 2001. I remember I was just like sitting in school and I like watched the towers fall. And I was like, that looks better than Greenville, South Carolina. I will help clear the road. Get me out of here. Here I am. Anyway, I'll keep it going for your last comic, Freddie G.
Oh, great. Happy to be here. Damn, yeah. My grandma died 3 days after 9/11. Yeah. Just adding that. Yeah, and I said, just a little 9/11 remembering. Yeah, so Google Maps will give you walking directions everywhere. And my wife was like, Fred, you got to find the longest place in the world. So I have found that. It is from Cape Town, South Africa to Bali, Indonesia. That is the longest one. There's a 188-day walk. You have to walk through 25 countries to do that. And they will tell me to do it, which would involve me, a Jew, walking through the Middle East. And I know once I got to Bali, I'd be like, I forgot my wallet. My wallet back in back in South Africa. But the good news is the walk back is 3 hours quicker. So we'll the NBA is going into a bubble to play the season. So they can't, they're not gonna be able to sleep with anybody. Will Chamberlain would not have stood for this. He slept with 20,000 women. This would have knocked him down to 19,000. Will Chamberlain slept with 20,000 women, has no kids. Best shooting percentage in NBA history. The best or worst? Okay, nice. That was the best joke of the one. Okay, yeah. Now there's no one-man bobsled. If you can't find a bobsled with, you are a loser. Yeah, that is right. Luge is a lot more dangerous than bobsled. I think luge was invented by a guy whose rest of his bobsled team quit, and he's like, I'm just going down on this thin board. I don't care if I live or die. That is really the lesson of luge. Okay, let's see. We got one more. Okay. I am it's weird when you have red hair because people are like, you're Irish. I'm like, no, I'm Ashkenazi Jew, like from Russia. It means land of the Reds. Like, that is so weird. A redheaded Russian guy. Actually, Russia was started by a redheaded Viking. And they're like, Fred, there is no way you are a Viking. Goes down on that. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a great late night. Freddie G.